Okay, so welcome back to the Pro Evolution Soccer Master League save. It is Man United trying to make Man United great again, and it hasn't started brilliantly well. We drew our first match with Bournemouth and 2-2, and then we lost to Leicester City 2-1, both games away. Now we're expected to get a competition or a finishing place in the league that will get us into the Champions League and reach the semi-finals of the Champions League competition. And we start that competition today against Borussia Dortmund. We've had a very big, busy transfer window deadline day with the likes. Oh wow, over the whole transfer window we bought in Jadon Sancho, we bought in Kieran Tierney, we bought in Matthijs de Ligt, we bought in Issa Diop, Julian Weigl, we've bought in Toby Alderweireld, and the big money buy Mauro Icardi has joined the club as well. Seeing Alexis Sanchez move in another direct swap for Alexis Sanchez, has seen him move out to Inter Milan. So I think we're ready to go. We're going to be lining up in the new 4-4-2 that we went through at the end of the last episode. That's all there is to say more about it. Let's get into the game and we'll see you for kickoff. Hello and welcome to Old Trafford for the Champions League game. Manchester United versus Borussia Dortmund. It's going to be interesting to see how this new Man United team gels together. Plenty of new signings in the team, and the back defensive partnership of Alderweireld and de Ligt have never played together before. It'll be interesting how they merge. Pogba is in the middle with new signing from Borussia Dortmund, Julian Weigl, and Sancho starts on the bench. So two ex-Dortmund boys in the Man United squad for today's game. It'll be very interesting to see how this game unfolds. An absolutely packed Old Trafford Stadium in today's game as the Champions League anthem blares out, and we'll have to see how the game unfolds. So Vinko Peritin really not happy with the performance against Leicester. Wholesale changes in the team, including a change of formation. Man United line up in a pretty more orthodox 4-4-2. De Gea, de Ligt, Alderweireld and Luke Shaw at the back. Martial, Weigl, Pogba and Rashford across the middle, and Icardi and Lukaku start together up front. Vinko Peritin really not happy with some of the performers against Leicester. Dortmund lined up with Hitz in goal, post check, Rojo starts, ex-Man United boy, top that, Guerrero is in there as well. Witsel and Dahoud, Pulisic, Götze, Royce and Philip starts up front, and it's going to be a very interesting spectacle in today's game. Let's see how it unfolds as the game kicks off and Man United get us underway, and the atmosphere is very tense here already at Old Trafford. We'll be back if there's any highlight. Man United starting pretty well inside the first 3 minutes, just keeping possession. Dortmund haven't had a touch of the ball yet. They're just trying to move it around, and then they do pounce. And can they launch a counter-attack here? Delo has to get back into position. He's shielded well off the ball. Luke Shaw dives into a tackle, catches the Dortmund player. Maybe have injured him as well. It's going to be an interesting one. He's rolling around in a lot of pain. A yellow card early doors. It's actually Matthijs de Ligt who picks up the early yellow card. And the Dortmund player, Mario Götze, who is key to how Dortmund play, looks like he could be in quite a lot of pain here. You just see de Ligt just catch the bottom of his foot. It was a bad tackle. I wouldn't say it was reckless, but I think Götze is off getting some treatment now as they do get a dangerous free kick here. Dortmund, it swings into the box. Pogba wins the header, and it looks like that is danger averted from the sense of Man United as Delo holds the ball, just looks to dink it up the line for Rashford. Rashford just turns inside of his man, tries to create a bit of space and sees Luke Shaw in space out wide. Icardi gets his first touch of the ball in a Man United shirt. Pogba lays it off to the ex-Dortmund player Weigl. Out it goes to Martial. Martial just holds it up, waits for Luke Shaw's run. Luke Shaw flicks that in, looking for Icardi. Acrobatic clearance at the back. Very well done there as Delo will head this into Pogba's path and just can't bring that down. Wasn't really expecting it, I think, at that height, the Frenchman, as here comes Philip for Dortmund. Good tackle, and Pogba pounces on the loose ball. Now Pogba comes forward. He's got Rashford outside him on the right. Waits a pass really well into his path, and Rashford uses his pace to get around his man. Flicks that in, looking for Icardi. It's bouncing around, and it's cleared just about by Dortmund. Man United starting this game well, trying to control the possession and control the tempo of the game as they look to get on. I think Götze is back on now, tries to put a ball through, and this comes out to the left-hand side for the team in yellow, Dortmund. It's held up well, comes back, the ball in, brought down, and then a bit of composure at the back there as it's flicked into Marcus Rashford's path. Now Rashford runs forward, trying to open his legs a little bit. Lukaku invites Diego Delo to come forward. Now they've been a pretty well respected partnership at the moment. Delo as Pogba turns away from the slide tackle. Lukaku into Rashford. Rashford's tackled. And it's a bit of a scrappy game at the moment with no one really taking control and creating any good goal scoring opportunities. 20 minutes gone. Pogba puts in a good tackle and then could have won a free kick, but the referee plays advantage. Icardi and Lukaku trying to link together, but I think it was Axel Witsel there just breaking up the little passage of play between the new strike force for Man United as Icardi is taking on Alexis Sanchez's number 7 shirt. He'll be hoping for a more fruitful time in the shirt than previous number 7 incumbents have had. Here come Dortmund. It's slipped in behind the defence. It's cut back across and they find themselves 1-0 down again. And I think, is that Philip that's got the goal? It's 1-0 it is. Max Philip gets it for Dortmund. And he puts them into a great position early on in the group stage as Alderweireld and Luke Shaw have a bit of a chat together to try and figure out what went wrong. But it was good slick passing here. De Ligt again just gets caught the wrong side. And then down the line, a lovely cutback. And there's the finish. And it finds it 1-0 to Dortmund at Old Trafford. Man United really haven't had a game done the easy way yet as we get the game back underway. And the home team find themselves 1-0 down. Dortmund trying to build it up from the back, but are slowly playing themselves deeper and deeper as that clearance from the goalkeeper is pretty poor. And Pogba flicks it out to Weigl. Now Martial has some time and space to open his leg, and it's flicked out to Luke Shaw from Icardi. Now Luke Shaw comes forward with it into a bit of space, dinks it in. Icardi with a header. It's a good save from the goalkeeper for Dortmund. And again, Man United just starting to try and turn the screw as Pogba tries to put that into Weigl's path and then dallies on the ball and gets tackled. And Dortmund look to come forward, and that's Weigl dives in on his former teammate Royce again. Royce being a little bit in the wars at the moment. They turn here. Dortmund looking to get runners in behind, which Luke Shaw needs to go and cover. Held out well on the right hand side, dinked over the top, looking into the middle. Comes back to the right winger, in it goes. The low jumps with the header, and De Gea will take that one quite easily. And now we'll look to set Marcus Rashford off on the right hand side. Flicks that nicely infield to Pogba and does a lovely 1-2 to try and accelerate away from Axel Witsel, but the big Belgian gets back and tackles him unbelievably well to stop that counter attack. As here comes Dalot. Diego Dalot comes forward, lays it in to Lukaku's feet, turns into Icardi, lays it off. There's Weigl against his former club. What a finish! It's 1-1 and Julian Weigl hammers it into the net again, and on his debut he gets a wonderful goal. What a strike from the German. Wonderful build-up play from Man United. They show they can pass the ball around. They do have this incisive movement. It's just got to become more consistent. That's what the Man United fans want. As Dalot here into Lukaku's feet, onto Icardi, Icardi into Weigl, right-footed strike past the goalkeeper before he knows what's happening, and that is a wonderful team goal. Lukaku into his strike partner Icardi, flicked it back to Julian Weigl, and then right-footed, controlled and placed, passed into the corner. It's a wonderful, wonderful finish from the new guy. And that is 1-1 as Dortmund get the game back underway again with about 5 minutes to go in the first half. They're looking over the top to try and get Philip in behind, but De Ligt does well this time and just can't. Oh, he does keep it in play. I thought he'd rolled that out for a corner, but he kept it in play and releases Diego Dalot as we tick down towards half-time. And there it is, 1-1, the goal just before half-time. A great time to score if you're a Man United fan. Weigl getting the goal on his debut. Pretty quiet game in terms of attempts on goal, but 53% possession for Man United. They'll be hoping they can build on the end of that first half and really take the advantage into the second half and win their first game under Vinko Peritin. So welcome back for the second half. No changes to report from either team. But yeah, Man United looking to build on that ending to the first half they had. And here is the goal scorer, Weigl, who comes forward. He's actually got a lot of space to run into. Looks to flick it through to Icardi. But it's defended well. It comes out wide. Philip brings it down. De Ligt should have that covered and does. And it looks like we're in for a pretty frantic second half here. If this first opening couple of minutes is anything to go by, as Pogba just couldn't get the ball away from Axel Witsel, who is holding the midfield quite well for Dortmund here as it goes into Weigl. Weigl out to Luke Shaw, just taking a little bit of tempo out of the game now, Man United, trying to get it back to a tempo that they want to play. It goes out wide, looks with the low, into Pogba. Pogba up to Lukaku, round the corner to Rashford. Rashford flicks this one in. Pogba with the overhead kick, and it's a great save. Straight out the goalkeeper, but you had to hold on to it well because Lukaku was ready to pounce. And Pogba with a very good acrobatic effort there as the ball goes forward Weigl can't win it in the air. Pogba does nick off. Paul Pogba looks incredibly up for this second half now. Up it goes to Martial. Can he just stretch his legs? Try and stretch the Dortmund defence as well. Martial trying to tease in a tackle. Waits for Luke Shaw for the overlap. Luke Shaw swings in an early cross this time. It's very easily headed away. But Man United are looking like they want to play in this second half, as that's a very badly timed tackle, and glad he didn't connect with the player, to be honest. Martial comes forward with it. Still Martial gets a bit of space. Looks to curl one. Flying save from the Dortmund goalkeeper to keep it at 1-1. Pogba wins the header in the middle of the park as we come to the hour mark. It's held up well by Icardi. Tries to release Martial. Just trying to hold it up. Flicks it back into Icardi, who just couldn't get away from his man. It's a good tackle, but a poor clearance again. Weigl picks it up. Pogba invites Dalot to come and get involved in the attack as well. Can't keep that in play, and it's 1-1 just after the hour mark. Dortmund look to go over the top of Luke Shaw, who's found himself the wrong side, but gets back. Recovers well. That's got to be a free kick on Luke Shaw. I don't know how that wasn't given as a free kick. The Dortmund player was nowhere near the ball. Literally just kicked the Englishman to get some space. As Man United try to play it out from the back, and that could put them in all sorts of trouble as De Gea makes the save. It remains 1-1. So substitution for Dortmund. Götze off and Delaney on in what could be an interesting sub for the German team. There's the header. It's off the bar. It's bouncing around. Luke Shaw makes the tackle. No one can really get a foot through it. And in the end of the day, it's cleared up by Weigl. Up to Icardi. Lays that back. He's got Pogba outside him, Rashford. Pogba gets on the ball. Can he put a ball into Icardi's path? He tries. Icardi gets up to win the header, but it deflects off the Dortmund defender. But Luke Shaw pounces on that one really well. Martial sees the run of Icardi, and it's cleared away. Luke Shaw let that goes out. Still 1-1. So the same sub as the Leicester game. Sancho on, Martial off. Martial struggling for a little bit of fitness at the moment, but Sancho comes on to face his former team. Can he make the difference? As Pogba has it, lays that back to Weigl. It's a lot of space out here for Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw will just drop this back into Sancho's positioning, just moving the ball across the midfield very well up to Dalot. Dalot puts it into Pogba's path. Pogba is surely fouled, and is, and we know that Pogba is dangerous from this sort of area. Axel Witsel is going to probably pick up a talking to from the ref. I don't think it was bad enough for a yellow card, but Pogba here drew it out. Dalot just laid it back to the Frenchman, let it run across his body, and yeah, Witsel nowhere near the ball. Pogba did well to beat him. As yeah, it's going to be Paul Pogba. Rashford just standing somewhat in the way. Now Pogba, can he get this up and down over the wall? Pogba, the Frenchman, hits it. Oh, what a strike. It's gone in the back of the net. Paul Pogba with an unbelievable finish. A wonderful strike from that free kick. And there he is doing his trademark dab demonstration, celebration. And it's a wonderful goal from the Frenchman to turn this game around in Man United's favour. A truly wonderful free kick. Hits in goal, has absolutely no chance with that. Up and down over the wall into the corner. The flying goalkeeper can do nothing, and Pogba's there to bring out the celebration. And that is 2-1 Man United. A wonderful turnaround. They've kept up the pace from the first half. At the end of the first half, they just seem to go up another gear, and they've kept that going. And Vinko Peritin will hope now that they can hold on to this lead better than they did against Bournemouth, and perform better than they did against Leicester, giving away a sloppy goal after they got the equaliser. As Luke Shaw heads that back towards David De Gea, who just tells Alderweireld, this is my ball, don't you worry about it. And then springs a lovely ball out to Diego Dalot in the right back position, infield towards Pogba. On one more to Weigl. Man United seem to have found a bit of a stride now. Luke Shaw, who's been so instrumental in these first early games for Brighton, sees Lukaku making the run. Icardi tried to flick it onto him but couldn't get there. Now there's a danger here that Man United have left themselves exposed. They've got numbers back, and De Ligt is just going to go and cover it, but it has to come out towards Alderweireld to come and get the ball out of the winger, because Luke Shaw was caught up the pitch. Alderweireld slides in, but it's played round him. Sancho comes across towards the back post. It's brought down, but De Gea pounces quickly and sees Rashford calling for the ball on the right wing. Now, can Man United turn this into something to suit their attacking needs? Rashford lays it in to Icardi, who's very well tackled. Good stretch to win that ball there. As here come the Dortmund wall of yellow, just pushing forward. He's got round Luke Shaw, but Sancho's doubling up, and Sancho's given away a free kick in a dangerous position. So Pulisic getting a free kick, just teasing Sancho into a tackle, And another substitution for Man United. Kieran Tierney on to replace Luke Shaw. Some fresh legs in that left back position. As that's a good dummy. The players fell for it, but the free kick in the end didn't dislodge De Gea from his position. As De Gea with a very poor throw out there. Really rushed that for some reason when they're in the lead. Didn't really make sense. It's tried to be flicked across, but Tierney gets back and defends well. Nice flick. Shot past the post from Marco Reus. And that's just warning signs for Man United again that they can't rest on their laurels. As it came in here, dinked in, headed away by Tierney. Nice flick round the corner, and then Marco Reus tried to curl it past the post. 2-1 United and not long to go. David De Gea looking just to be sensible with this goal kick. Sort of floats it up towards Tierney, who allows the Red Devils just to keep the ball. Tierney flicks it inside to Weigl. Up it goes to Sancho. Sancho and Tierney, obviously lots of fresh legs on this left-hand side of the pitch now. Sancho's been given a lot of space to run into. Probably could have gone further, but tried to pass it off to Lukaku. De Ligt can't win that header, but Weigl's there, and they do get their first win under new boss Vinko Peritin. A 2-1 win for Man United. A great way to start the Champions League group stages off. Pogba with a goal from the free kick. De Ligt picking up an early yellow, but managed to not do anything else silly after the game. And that was a fantastic performance from Man United. Going a goal down and showing good character to come back into it. The early yellow card for De Ligt there. Really bad tackle. Actually took that player out of the game as Philip put Dortmund in front that we can see here. A lovely well-worked cutback goal. And De Gea's got no chance there. Man marking, you could say, was poor. And there was no real man-to-man marking. They tried, but Alderweireld just switched off ever so slightly, freeing up the space for Philip to fire it into the side nettings and make it 1-0 to Dortmund. Icardi was dangerous throughout, looking like he linked up quite well with Lukaku into that second half. It was a good save from the goalkeeper there, but it was cleared away indeed. So at the end of the game, we can see Man United have 5 attempts and all of them on target and had more of the ball possession as well. They just about outpassed Borussia Dortmund by 2 passes, only completing 1 more than them though. Crosses, there were 5-4 in favour of Man United, and that's where most of their danger appeared to come from. So other results in the Champions League. Liverpool beat Ajax 1-0. Athens beating Club Brugge 3-1. Celtic and Schalke drawing 0-0, which will be good for us, which puts us definitely at the top of our group. Madrid beating Roma 1-0. Moscow, CSK Moscow and Porto drawing 1-1. Barcelona getting a draw with Benfica, which is a poor result. And PSG smashing Young Boys Bern. And there we go, sitting atop of the group, which is a very nice way to start it off. And Vinko Peritin will be happy. So we will be back for the next game against Southampton in the next episode. Thank you guys for signing. Let me know what you think of the performance. Does that 4-4-2 suit the way I play better? Let me know what you think. What would you do with the players we've bought and what formation would you sign? But for now, I'm out. Cheers.